just bought this hoodie in New York, which is a fake Supreme. It's made by Tremaine Emory, and I thought people notice it's not Supreme. It says racism controls America. What is it? Yeah.
Systemic racism.
Systemic racism controls America. It was like a take because the guy who made it was fired from Supreme for racism, he says, and then he made this, but then nobody noticed I'm wearing a fake Supreme.
It feels like a pretty key difference from having Supreme on your jumper.
Yeah. I hope.
It does have Supreme on it, though, still. It kind of looks like the real thing.
So he's like allowed to do it and sell it in Soho?
You sure it's not real Supreme?
Yeah, maybe he stole the fabrics maybe and made an actual new Supreme with the old Supreme.
I kind of hope he did.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Supreme. It's probably a piece of art then if it really is from him. Yeah. He's like, it's not clothing anymore.
But then I felt ashamed walking in Soho with it because everyone from a distance thinks it's just Supreme. And I stood in line for like...
You need to like go out to everyone and be like, just so you know, this is not Supreme. This is a comment on American society.
Systemic racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, so good to have you, William.
Yes, and I don't have any Supreme on. I'm not wearing Supreme. But why? Can I just say, is it because that they're backed by an arms company that they're not so cool now?
Are they actually?
Lockheed Martin.
Are they? Maybe some donations or ownership?
Don't take me to court, but...
That feels like a very weird crossover.
Yeah. But it's the same with like Vice magazine getting Murdoch money in and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Murdoch owned 5%. Do you miss Vice, Honor? The days of Vice magazine?
I did quite like Vice, actually. I do think it's a shame.
Me too.
The founder took all the money and bought a house in Santa Monica.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Shit, really?
Shane Smith.
So you just did all right.
That's inspiring.
Yeah. And the other founder was the guy behind January 6th. Yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah, Gavin McInnes.
How did I not know this?
Gavin McInnes founded Vice with Shane Smith. He left in 2008 and he founded the Proud Boys. And the Proud Boys stormed the Capitol. Yeah.
That's wild.
I had no idea.
He was the cool
there was
guy.
That connection.
Yeah.
He gave Vice a huge character. I mean, it was before, I guess, he was radicalized and maybe became racist. I don't know if they are racist, the Proud Boys.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're pretty...
I was on his podcast.
That's crap. They're not just like toxic masculine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't looked too deeply into their ideology, but I think they're pretty out there.
Yeah. Vice got full access to ISIS at the time. They just visited Syria and ISIS fighters love them. Same values in a way. They also don't pay their interns, ISIS. They make them do videos, HD used to, and then Vice just rolled with them.
And it's all about kind of pushing the boundaries, right, of what you can put on screen.
Yeah. And they were criticized for not really doing journalism, just showing up and filming their shit or like, hey, look at this cool ISIS guerrilla fighter.
They were gonzo. They were
That's reportage as well, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to always comment.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of hip hop vibe. It's just like sample, mixed stuff. Like it's almost like they teleported from like their apartment to a war zone and like finished their drink and then teleported back with like a quick account. I miss them too.
Yeah. So Honor is big on the Paris Review cycles.
Huge.
What's up with that? Like, how was the party?
It was really fun actually. I met some really interesting people. I was sat between like the dean of the Yale Art School, who's like the first Black woman ever to do it, and like a war reporter who, again, like so rare to be a woman doing that. So it was fascinating.
Like Paris Review, they cover wars, or he was a reporter?
No. Like a war reporter for I can't remember where she worked.
Why is it called Paris Review, but it's not in Paris?
I have no idea. I think it was set up in the 50s when that felt a bit.
Did you get the merch? Because the Paris Review hat is really
I did get the merch.
Crucial.
I would say that the hat is poorly shaped for my head. I don't think it suits me.
I can change. I have a Columbia University hat. We can change.
Really? Okay, we can sort. Yeah. I really tried to take up kind of baseball cap wearing when I was in New York.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I can pull it off. I kept trying. Really? And like, I just think for some reason my head is poorly shaped for it.
And people keep sending short stories to the Paris Review and they never read them, right?
I would be surprised if they read them. I don't know.
So many people doing so much now.
So Honor is a book, Messalina. I just edited the Messalina lady Wikipedia. She was the wife with your book because I was surprised there was no book section in the...
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you.
You can check,
Just like corrupting or
when you said editing the Wikipedia, I thought you kind of were going to say like with just like made up lies, crediting your book.
Because actually you should do...
Just undermining my academic
You should always edit 50% false.
No, sorry.
Because then journalists get to like double check, because you should test them by editing one false line to Wikipedia, one correct line.
Nimrod has made a film before about altering Wikipedia and then hiring himself out to the people mentioned in his alteration
To fix it for them.
Fix it.
Yeah, like protection.
Did it
I'm
work?
singing here.
But I couldn't really promise results because I met Kanye West in Paris Fashion Week, and I was like, I saw some mistakes on your Wikipedia that you're involved in the shooting of Biggie Smalls, and you have to correct
You probably
it.
loved that though, right?
Yeah, he was
freaked
like,
Was he just like leave it?
he wanted to hire me on the spot to fix it.
He was worried.
Yeah, but then I was like, what if somebody else undoes my fixings?
You did Alan Sugar. You said he was worth less money, and then filmed. I mean, I was there filming it. We filmed Nimrod asking him at a conference he was giving about his personal wealth, and then quoting the false Wikipedia back to him. It's all very.
And
weird
how
and
did he
mad.
respond?
He was he believed that it probably is there on the page, which probably was, because everybody believes what you tell them the Wikipedia is at a certain point, because it could be, and it's the only thing they care about more than their career. I think is what Wikipedia says right now.
Well, because that is their reputation.
Yeah.
How accurate?
It's like people used to put up kind of monuments to themselves. Now it's just your Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
That is your enduring.
You need your own page,
which can be edited.
Just full of lies.
Yeah, why not? One day.
You need your own page, and you say you're related to Messalina.
For sure. A distant granddaughter.
Yeah.
And involved in some shootings and with a very, very high net worth.
Huge. And then trans and all types of stuff. Like add all
Let's
of
just
this
make it completely out
part
there.
of MAGA, like, I don't know, bizarre.
But it has to become a movie.
Just end my career.
Your book about Messalina, it's about Claudius's wife. It should become a movie. Like,
I mean, I would love that. I think it is a very, I mean, it's an incredibly dramatic story. But I feel like movies made in Rome are generally, it's always kind of like about a gladiator or a legionary or something. They're usually quite male, I think.
It's all like following a formula, like the TV show Rome, 2 seasons, or the other. What about I, Claudius? That was like an intellectual show.
Yeah. I mean, Messalina obviously is a major character in I, Claudius because she's his third wife and first empress. And she comes across as a terrible but also fantastic character in I, Claudius. And I think whenever I tell particularly men of a certain age that I was writing about Messalina, the first thing they always say to me, they always kind of go a little bit red and are like, she's an I, Claudius, isn't she? Because she's like the very, very slutty one in this TV series.
So you think they present her in any good ways in I, Claudius?
I think in the book she's she's an evil character. In the I, Claudius is based on the Robert Graves novel. She's an evil character in a lot of ways, but she's a lot more three-dimensional than her presentations in the majority of sources that kind of follow her death. She's usually presented not even as a bad person, but as kind of a symbol of everything that is wrong with a particular type of femininity, and as a kind of symbol of like female sexual excess, rather than just kind of a woman who might be villainous in certain ways, which I think is how she comes across in I, Claudius.
She was smarter than Claudius, would you say?
I think that's how she's presented, certainly as being more kind of emotionally manipulative and having him wrapped around her little finger in I, Claudius. I think in reality, I mean, there's an eternal debate even in the Roman sources themselves about whether Claudius is clever or a fool who is at times well advised and at times badly advised.
Yeah.
But I think Messalina is certainly clever. She maintains a position as one of the most powerful people in the Roman Empire for the best part of a decade, and it's the most cutthroat court in the world.
Yeah.
So I think to do that, you've got to be pretty on it.
A 6-part HBO show called I, Messalina, written by you, maybe first person, maybe.
I would watch it.
Yeah,
you should act in it.
Yeah, I could be in the background.
Why stop at just writing? Yeah,
they often don't let the people who wrote the magazine story or the book write the TV show, but they should. I think they keep like taking it away from the original writer.
Do you think it's because they feel too much like ownership over it? They won't like kill their darlings.
Yeah,
or they just want to own an original scriptplay as well. They might actually want that whole physical.
Then they make you executive producer, which is meaningless. And you can visit the set once.
At least it sounds good.
Yeah, but it would be fun.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, true. You want to option it.
If HBO want to only make me executive producer, I will be okay with that.
Yeah.
It could work. I want to know more. I mean, I looked it up briefly. I don't know that much, but apparently there were lots of chauvinists at the time writing false histories. So including what we know may have been tainted by chauvinism at the time, and I suppose brings in like how was she? How was it? How are ancient people really? You could completely like exonerate her. She could be well more prudish. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I was trying to do with the book is not necessarily like exonerate her, but just bring back a little bit of humanity and complexity. I think, there's the reports of her life are undoubtedly tainted by misogyny. And some of the stories that are told about her, that she kind of leaves the palace at night and works in like a low-class brothel in like the slum area of Rome, and that she has like a competition with the most notorious prostitute in Rome for who can sleep with more men in 24 hours.
Right.
I think they're difficult to credit. And
she was paid as well as like the other ladies in the brothel, or she just did it for
Allegedly,
fun?
yeah.
Right.
But she wasn't doing it for, her net worth. This was it was a kind of a fetish,
activity.
I suppose.
Right.
But I think those stories are difficult to credit, and they're ways of discrediting her as a politician and a kind of powerful figure.
Yeah.
In Rome's history.
Like Melania Trump. Or she's not as interesting, I guess, as a wife.
Yeah, I haven't heard any quite so exciting rumors about her.
True.
I'm trying to think of a kind of comparator in...
I'm thinking of the Israeli Prime Minister's wife. Is quite like controlling, they say, but could investigate. Maybe your next book about Sarah Netanyahu, about her vibe. Are you doing another book about...
I am doing another book. It's going to be about Rome during the age of Augustus, who's the first emperor, and basically how do you go from a world where you defined your whole culture by its like love of like liberty and republicanism to a world where you're celebrating autocracy in less than 50 years.
What's the title, you think?
I don't know. Okay, that if you have any ideas, please let me know. It's
Romanicing.
Sweet Rome. Wasn't it because of war? Weren't they constantly at war? I mean, didn't Augustus walk around the common people giving the Republican salute and like entertaining basically the citadel, whatever, the citizens, the people of and it was all quite jolly.
Yeah, I think they'd been having civil wars for kind of 50 years, and they were just so exhausted with it. I think that's a huge factor in it. But I'm doing a doctorate on sex scandals in ancient Rome.
Bloody hell.
So
right.
Yeah. It's just like 2,000-year-old gossip, essentially.
God, it's me too. It's like back then. It's literally like...
You're going to Rome soon, regardless, to investigate?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't need to be there for my research, but I will 100% be using it as an excuse to hopefully spend a lot of time there.
People go because the new Mr. Ripley show is taking place in Amalfi and then Rome.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, it's black and white on purpose. Even though they shot it in color, they downgraded it just to make it look
different, no? To look different to the...
I was into the physics of the show, because like how the way that he kills the guy on the boat, the Dickie Greenleaf, the actual mechanisms,
I think the term is in English.
Things go wrong, pulling bodies down the stairs.
Love that.
Yeah.
How do psychopaths do it? They just like thrive with all these awful things happening to them, and they kind of keep a straight face and make you lunch.
Apparently you're much more likely to be successful for a psychopath.
But isn't that incredibly worrying as well?
It's
that
terrifying.
Our terms of success kind of indicate that you need to be a psychopath to...
Because if you admit your crimes...
Loads of CEOs and loads of surgeons.
People don't care, Like Trump is admitting his crimes. People. If you admit your crimes openly, you can move on.
He's like opening all his speeches now with like, I've been indicted. I can't do the accent. I've been indicted more times than Al Capone. And people are like,
respect.
You're like, what? This is not a good thing.
And I don't pay taxes because I know how to trick the system. Right. So I'm a genius.
He's owning it. He's basically saying, be like me.
But it doesn't work for other politicians. Other politicians tried it. It doesn't work.
This is so interesting. And this is, I think, what I find so interesting about Scandal and why I'm studying them is they're so sensitive both to the culture in which they occur, but also to the people who are involved in them. Like things that would have taken down any other politician are like water off a duck's back to Trump or to Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is it about them?
They don't give a F. Both of those politicians at least portray personalities that have got so much going on, almost like so many important decisions that your petty mind can't even think of, that all of the problems and accusations that they face aren't even important. It's almost like
morality is almost something for for people.
Yeah, that don't have to deal with terrorism or like World War IV, or do you know what I mean? It's like
similar hair. The Trump,
super
Boris,
similar.
and the Netherlands leader, similar
true.
haircut.
Cambridge Analytica helping them with all the
Right.
voting back in the day.
Yeah, I wonder if there's that sense that it's like you, by behaving like that, you present yourself as being above the rest of society because you're like, I don't care about society's rules, and people almost buy into that.
No. Yeah, they
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and also they're great orators, like both of them. Johnson and freaking Trump are great orators.
Yeah.
I mean, not in an academic level.
I'm not sure
No, but to
his
a crowd.
rhetoric
Yeah.
is a good.
To a crowd.
But
Yeah.
the demagogues. Berlusconi was the leader of like not giving, not caring.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Just
you were
keep going.
studying Inigo Philbrick, the guy who just got out of prison for.
I'm so obsessed with this.
Yeah, what's your
story.
take on Inigo?
So it's Nimrod.
I mean, he just sounds like such a wanker, doesn't he? But also, what a brilliant story. And I think it's so cinematic and also it's so enjoyable because awful things happen, but you don't feel like required to feel particularly bad for anyone involved because
The
he's
victims
clearly
are
awful.
rich. All the victims are.
The victims
Yeah.
are really rich and lots of them sound like total nightmares. And like the setting is glamorous. The crimes have big numbers involved. Like
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
I was going to go meet
we
him
love a scam.
I was in New York. I was going to go meet him, but apparently he can't leave Rhode Island. He's got an ankle monitor.
Wow.
He's
And you
married.
don't want to go
arrest.
to Rhode Island.
Yeah, he kept sending me pictures on DMs of his monitor to show, and I didn't realize it's so far to go to Rhode Island. And Victoria, his wife, from Made in
Yeah.
Chelsea,
That feels
she's
so
a great
weird.
character.
It's
Yeah.
like a new
Yeah.
Goodfellas film. We need to go and film this.
But also people trying to ride him, people trying to take advantage of Inigo now. Like there's a guy called Orlando Whitfield just released a book,
All the glitters.
The
right?
Best Friend. Yeah, do you know the book? What's your take on the book?
I've read extracts, but I haven't read the book yet.
And it's not even the first Best Friend because Kenny Schachter already published the Best Friend of Inigo, New York Magazine
Really?
story. So even this niche has been done, but now this Orlando guy is trying to sell the book to HBO. He never sent Inigo a copy of the book, never even mentioned Inigo in the cover because
Yeah.
it says glitters on the cover. It's all about Inigo. Never gave him a right to reply. Inigo says there's many factual mistakes, and he was participating in the schemes. He was his best friend, he says, and now he's trying to sell it to HBO. But maybe Inigo should sell his own upcoming book to HBO and not the best friend who's taking, because Anna Delvey had a best friend who tried to do just the same.
They need to deliver these books quicker. Inigo needs his book out now, you know? Like, just
How
deliver.
does it work as well with these laws about like what you can profit off with your crimes?
Good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna
Because-
Delvey couldn't take the Netflix money initially,
Yeah.
or still. With Inigo, I think he's out of prison. He's trying to sell art again.
I love that.
To me,
To you?
yeah, he DM'd me. Let's do some sales.
You
I was
should
like,
do it.
I was just let's
And then in
hang
10
out.
years, you can write a book being like, I was scammed
Yeah,
by Inigo Philbrick.
it's better than being best friend. Being scammed, that's what I want to
better.
read. Best friends are like doesn't. And Inigo sent like an empty crate sometimes, pretending there's a painting in it, allegedly. And people never open the crate because they just, I got it. I don't want to, I don't have space to hang it anyway.
They're embarrassed that they just spent that much money on art. They
Yeah.
prefer to leave it in the crate.
And they were happy to own.
Also, very ugly art quite often.
Also, a new piece of art could just be the crating, the shipping crates.
That's true.
On the plinth.
Inigo used the wrong defense. He should have been like, this whole thing was performance art. I was exposing
Exactly.
the truth of the art industry and kind of
and
capitalism.
the mastery of the market of selling 10%
Yeah.
of the painting and nobody wanting to take it. That's genius.
And then he could sell the whole thing for like 100 million to some collector.
Yeah. Because who wants to take it home anyway? It's so heavy.
He could send like an empty manuscript and it's like,
Yeah.
this is the...
I want to buy 5% of a Messalina sculpture and leave it with you. And if it goes up in value, I'll just sell it, the portion.
I mean, the art world has
Genius.
always been so dodgy, right?
Yeah. And
Right from the start.
totally. And you have to admire the dodgiest of dodgiest if he plays the system.
Yeah.
And like, if people didn't really, his clients didn't really care about art. They cared
No.
about the commodity.
Yeah.
He's famous now, though, hugely. He should have his own gallery. No, he
Yeah.
should have a gallery and a.
So I offered him to do a group show with all the
Exactly.
artists that he likes that supported him while he was in prison.
Yeah.
Were there a lot that did?
Some were like sympathetic.
Also, the book about his prison.
Yeah.
That's what people
Yeah.
want to read. How many
Yeah.
weeks did he do? Years? What did he do?
Yeah, and he did sketches in prison
couple
of
of months.
notes and scribbles he's giving them to some library.
Prison books. That's what people want. They
Yeah.
want to see you.
I would trust
you know.
that more
Also,
than a
he
best
feels
friend.
like the person who would not do well in prison.
Yeah,
But didn't he also would have gone to like a luxury prison, no? For like,
maybe compared to like non-luxury
it's
prisons.
not
yeah,
South
so the-
Central.
Also, I went to the Orlando
I
Book
love the
Talk.
concept of a luxury prison.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Luxury
house
prison.
arrest is like the most luxurious, you know?
Depends how nice your house is.
You have to stay in your house for a whole year.
I went to the book talk of the Orlando book about Inigo, and no questions. They won't let me ask anything.
Really?
Like, and I said, when
He
I
was
got in,
too
I was like, I'm
famous.
friends of Henry Hudson, and you, I thought me and Orlando are friends, but then he was like, no, he's not your friend.
Wow.
Now he's selling an HBO show. Using Inigo, he would not take any questions.
My God.
And he had the litigation lawyer, like, kept mentioning him, libelous, like, libel lawyer,
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't taking any questions.
I guess.
He's
Yeah.
scared to say anything.
Is he
right?
going to
He's
get sued, do you think?
Inigo says it's full of mistakes and that he should given him a right to comment.
Yeah, for
On-
sure he should have.
Yeah, and he blocked Inigo and his wife on WhatsApp and Instagram.
My God.
If you're a writer of, you're not blocking your subject.
Yeah, and
Right.
also his whole thing is like, I saw this corrupt world where all the friendships were fake, and I decided to kind of leave that world and become a new person, right? And then what
Yeah.
he does is go and profit off selling his old friend down the river.
Yeah,
That feels
Totally.
like a
And
bit
That
blocking
of
sounds
a-
very modern. That's like
Yeah.
that is basically how most people socialize nowadays, isn't it? I mean, it's
God,
like,
that's such a depressing
know.
take.
tell me
Yeah.
something deep and personal because you think I'm like caring, compassionate, and trustworthy, and
I'll
then
just be typing it up on the side.
you watch your rumor spread with wings. You know,
Yeah.
like it seems.
I became addicted to YouTube, and I pay YouTube monthly to not get ads and to listen to YouTube's while I'm out of the YouTube app. So this audio keeps playing
I
like a
love
podcast.
that. That's worth the money alone, though.
That's why I pay. And also I keep uploading stuff that people put on Instagram that may disappear. If they have any news value,
Oh, yeah.
I put them on my YouTube. I'm
What, like
addicted.
people's stories and stuff, if
Stories
they're like kind
from
of things they're
Mar-a-Lago.
going to regret.
Yeah, any notable stories.
What kind of thing?
Like Mar-a-Lago, I saw people posting about the guest list in Mar-a-Lago, the Trump
Yeah.
resort, the party. Or from the Met Gala last night, I
Mm.
uploaded some stuff that might not be mentioned anywhere else ever.
What did you think of the showing?
I think Anna Wintour should quit.
Who is Anna Wintour again?
She runs the Condé Nast, all the Vogues,
Oh, yeah.
and she just like
She's
refused to
killed
appoint.
off so many
Yeah.
magazines.
She fired
People.
so many people in Pitchfork with her sunglasses on.
This was what I was going to
Oh,
say.
yeah, I read about
People say,
this.
how can you look at sensitive colors and like a presentation of color work that is a fashion show wearing sunglasses and have any idea what you're seeing?
Yeah.
The whole point is like you wouldn't look at paintings with sunglasses on.
That's so true.
The British Vogue used to have an editor,
Good.
Edward NFL, for like 7
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
She
yeah.
fired him.
He did amazing
It was great.
covers.
And she
Apparently
never
bankrupted it, but
right. Yeah, I mean, but she
It was
never
worth it.
she never appointed a successor. There's no British Vogue editor anymore. There's a lady she appointed to be like general editor.
it's so disrespectful
Yeah,
to
and
the
she,
work that she is now doing as well, which I think has been really good.
yeah.
It's,
And the Met Gala, apparently you buy, if you're a company, you buy a ticket, then you invite like people that
it's like
you,
tables, right?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they don't give guest lists. Do they? I mean, they give
No.
guests a list, but no plus ones or no plus seven.
Yeah,
You can't bring your gang.
yeah.
It's really
Shocking.
just a plus one. Maybe you could bring your child. People don't take their children to these awards enough. Like all
No
these
kids.
celebrities
No kids.
don't bring their kids.
Do you want to see the Met Gala kind of?
Yeah, with more
Just-
kids.
Kids Gala.
Like the kids should have amazing costumes on as well. No, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
so-
And nothing is happening inside. You'd think they're going to something.
I bet it's an incredibly boring party.
Yeah, there's not
waiting
even
around.
Yeah.
nothing. There's not even tables inside, I believe. There's just standing, walking around the museum,
Really?
and some drinks and some canapes.
chit chat, and then you leave. There's no thing. There's no auction.
I bet it's all about the after parties.
Maybe, yeah. It's all about
And drugs. No, I mean it's going to definitely be the drugs.
It's
and
all
the
about
parties.
exiting your hotel fully covered with umbrellas, so no one can see your outfit until you arrive the 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Big reveal because you're so worth it.
Because what's the big deal if they take your picture then at the hotel or or the carpet, whatever?
Are they nice umbrellas? Are they like? It's
Yeah,
They
just
always
anything.
take the mark.
yeah, Mark
Right?
and Carlisle
Yeah.
hotels.
Yeah, I thought it was quite a boring showing on it. No
Mm-hmm.
year is ever going to like touch fashion in the Catholic imagination. That was just
Which year was that?
can't remember.
Amazing.
Like 10 years ago, right? Yeah.
Okay.
And one year someone fell on the carpet, like upside down.
Really?
That was like a thing. Yeah.
Love that. More of that.
Yeah, totally. But
More children, more injuries.
yeah, I predict you would be on the Met Gala, Honor. your next book is going to be
hugely successful.
That is the kind of classic career trajectory for an ancient historian.
Yeah, you should not move to New York until you're in the Met Gala. That's your first day.
Oh, I'm sure that would make all the difference. I'll just send Anna an email being like, I will not come to New York unless I'm on that list.
Yeah, and CC Edward NFL also.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to Mallorca, William.
So I have not been given my residency for Mallorca, which coincides with a cultural
because of Brexit.
Because of Brexit, and not having enough money in the bank, which is fine. It'll come.
And you need a residency to
No. I decided I'm too English to live in Spain the whole time, so I'm here for 6 months.
Island life is hard, like hitchhiking or going around.
Yeah, I do a lot of hitchhiking and walking and carrying stuff, which has been good for my muscles, but it kind of stood on my impatience to get things done in like the London.
Yeah. Can you imagine staying there in Mallorca more than 2 days?
For like 3 months.
Yeah.
I think I could easily do more than 2 days. I think 3 months I would be getting. Whereabouts do you live? Kind of in the country? Or
live in the countryside.
In the mountains.
There's a bus now. There is a bus service that takes you to the capital. So I go there for my like erectile kind of satisfaction in buildings.
Dysfunction.
You know, I'm quite like sporty.
Sporty and rich.
I wish I was sporty. I'm not sporty, but I wish I played sport. And so I basically have to do things.
I'm not sporty at all.
Yeah,
Don't you always come across rich British people? They have a boat suddenly and a house party and then they leave you stranded?
More like German, French,
Geldof.
some Spanish. There are some English people there that come and go in August.
It's all about the Geldofs and the Geldofs family.
No, it's not. Everyone's had a bit of a hard time and a nice time. Some of them, they are nice. Pixie's very sweet and we say hello, but it's a village. I moved to a little Spanish village, which is a bit of a trendy village.
And you can't really work weird. Or like, you have to come back to London for work.
I need to come back to work here. I need to come back to work here just also because of the crazy laws in Spain that say if you're going to be an English person living in Spain, you need to bring 80% foreign income in.
What?
So that you pay loads of Spanish tax on foreign income so that they get the benefits of you. I didn't get any of that. And so I just work wherever I can. And also I'm more into hip hop and Jamaican music. And Spain is great where I am.
You've been composing on the island a bit.
I've had loads of time. I've done composing. What was I doing? I even did chefing at one point.
Yeah, send Honor some of your tracks.
Yeah, I'll send you some weird ambient stuff. Yeah. I've done some ambient soundtracking. And it was good for me. Hey, the pandemic hit. I was like, I would see Nimrod and we would stay 5 meters away from one another. We were
fist bumping with
in the
gloves.
air, and the whole city went quiet. And
I still don't touch coins since COVID.
Really? I don't think I've seen a coin since COVID.
There you go.
I have coins. They stink. I have them in my jacket.
Smell.
They smell so bad. I had to wash my hands today of the smell of the coins.
I do kind of miss them though.
And
I miss the proper notes that weren't plastic. I like that about New York.
Oh, the plastic notes are horrible. You feel like you're going to cut your hand with them, or like cut your nose if you were like someone who sniffed cocaine. Like you could almost feel the cocaine cut.
I don't touch doorknobs
Yeah.
at all, and I don't shake hands anymore.
And that
Just
was
elbows.
He was like that before the pandemic. Do you know what I mean? The
It's a
pandemic
good power
just
play as
accentuated
well.
it.
If someone tries to shake your hand, you're just like, no.
No, but
So
it was good how the pandemic got everyone doing spuds, because before, when people tried to spud for hygienic reasons before the pandemic, everyone just assumed you were a gangster or something. And now all these like city boys spud, and you even had Boris the floppy dickhead.
I keep thinking my phone is gross, so when I go home, I put my phone on. I don't touch my phone at home. I have an iPad, which is the exact same as the phone.
Never leaves the house.
So I just don't touch it in the home. I think if you take your shoes off, you put your phone away, and duplicate your phone on iPad.
Yeah, and you need to disinfect your phone like at least once every 3 years.
But I also find disinfectants like kind of cringe because like all the germs stay on you and like.
Or they're on the bottle that you're touching as well.
Oh God!
I mean, that was all before the pandemic, you know. So then the pandemic just made us more educated about the risk of life, which I don't believe either.
It's a good thing to know.
I saw it all as a massive comedy, and so I just fled for the countryside back to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were saying our best friends got a divorce. The Joplin son, Casper Joplin.
Oh yeah.
Best friend.
Are you friends with them, semi or no?
No, I've never met him.
Okay.
Best friends, for sure.
Yeah. I do say I'm his friend to get into events sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw him at a dinner in Oxford once,
Mhm.
incongruously in like the worst curry house in Oxford. He looked very uncomfortable.
after he broke up with Ellie Goulding.
No,
or-
this was, I think, while they were together. He was doing masters.
and
He
he
was
has
there
to
with
be.
like a rowing team.
Yeah, I
The
feel like
whole
he-
thing was a very weird vibe.
I feel like he has to be into art because of his White Cube family.
Yeah.
So he has to post
Pressure.
about art all the time, but like no one cares.
Maybe he is into art. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Aren't people a bit young to be into art in such a kind of like intense
Too young.
way? Like, don't act old before your time. Like,
I don't think art is age sensitive.
no, I don't either. I just think people's reaction to it can be a little bit like performed.
What, take it too seriously? Use that as a...
I mean, look at me now talking about it. It seems like a serious matter. Like, it's not serious. Art is not.
Serious.
Art is serious if it's like, I suppose, if it's like really accessible.
Mhm.
But like the other stuff is like all therapeutic. It's really good. Like, people should do it, but it's just whether or not anyone understands it.
There's a great story in the New Yorker by same guy Patrick Radden-Keefe about Izzy Wood, who's a cool artist that Gagosian fell in love with her work. She refused to sign with Gagosian, but still sold a ton, just because he came to her disgusting studio, she says, in Whitechapel,
How
and
cool.
started buying her art directly from her. And then
What Gagosian himself?
Gagosian
like-
himself,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Larry. Also,
Yeah.
there's something called Jerry Gagosian. Jerry is
Which one is the one that's
Blogger.
dating the artist? The very young artist?
yeah. Larry's dating a young artist
Yeah.
who's
What's
Emma,
the age difference?
Large.
40 years.
More, I
difference.
think.
It's
She's like
wild.
27. He's like 77.
I think they broke
That's
up.
fucking
It's like
weird.
50
I mean,
years.
it is and it isn't, maybe.
Yeah. I think Wayant is her
As long
name.
as they're happy, yeah.
Anna Wayant.
Anna Wayant. But it's,
Happy.
I think, good for her.
Mhm.
Not sure about
Yeah.
how it reflects on him.
But why did she have to also be
Yeah.
signed with Gagosian?
Yeah.
I mean, you're dating the guy, you moved to the Hamptons with him. Why do you can do other galleries for your art?
Yeah.
Maybe the partner felt it was an insult if she didn't sign with him.
Maybe.
Maybe she signed first and then
Super
they fell in love.
proprietary, no?
Yeah, maybe they fell in love
Gotta
after they
own
signed.
that.
It's beautiful.
They broke up, but yeah.
Really?
Shit. They
Yeah.
broke up.
Same story by
Oh, he's
about
back
her.
on the market.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Larry's back. And Izzy Wood, the artist, told him, what happens when you die? When you like, I sign with you, but then you die. And he was like so offended.
Love that as an opening question.
Yeah.
As though he's not aware of his own mortality.
He was so offended that she mentioned his demise. And he was like angry. And then she refused to sign with him because he had no answer to the question.
She sounds
It's
great.
amazing.
She's cool. Yeah. She's a musician as well. Izzy Wood.
Really?
Check her stuff.
Yeah, I will. Have a
Yeah.
look.
But she doesn't talk to Henry Hudson, who's another artist, my friend. And the thing, what she does, she refuses to sell her art now to people I know. Because the thing you need to do, get to a point where you refuse to
People
sell,
you know personally. Or
Yeah.
like
people she
collectors
knows.
I know,
Okay.
and also people she knows.
Okay.
She just says no when someone who's even.
So what does she do with her art?
That's a power play, I guess. Imagine if you refuse to sell your book.
Well,
At
I
some
would
point.
be
Or
starving to
yeah.
death on the
No.
street. But,
Or a special
You
edition
can
of
have
your book.
special editions. This is the merchandise
Oh,
world.
yeah.
Come on, you could have like
5
author's
old-
cut.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Author's cut.
Or I
with
just
no
make
A-
stuff up.
The unaided version. Well, I mean, I'm sure it is
With
your
a really
author's cut.
fancy
I haven't-
cover.
I'm sure your book's great.
Yeah, with a fancy cover, looks like Middle Ages, and you refuse to sell it.
Or just papyrus scrolls.
Yeah,
But, or
Really?
NFTs. Are they still
Yeah.
a thing? Are they
NFTs.
gone?
they were huge ones.
They
Yeah,
were once,
people
Nimrod.
still trying. I was
Sorry.
into it. Yeah,
Remember, I've been in a cave.
Yeah, I never really, the NFT thing, I think, passed
Yeah.
me by a little bit.
the only vibe was to see what's in your wallet and other people's wallets. You could see how much money everyone has.
Oh, that's great for
Yeah.
people's kind of social interaction, I think.
I know, how
Do you think that's the
bizarre.
future of Monzo and Venmo? The Venmo would just be public, and you can see
Got to
what
see
people
people's
have.
accounts, how much
God.
money they
I
have.
think that's the future of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of an Instagram, you
Yeah.
just
Bank
purely
back,
have
yeah.
the number.
The number on the Instagram.
The
Someone
fake
should write that
followers,
as like a
yeah.
dystopian novella.
Yeah, because it's less fake than Instagram today with no prices.
Instagram's so
Instagram today
fake.
has no like receipts.
And someone like Inigo Philbrick, who was like using all these indicators of wealth to scam people as well.
Yeah.
By
Totally.
presenting himself as, or Anna Dalby, same thing.
Yeah.
People self-snitch. It's all day long. The phone is listening to you. Don't use it in the toilet. It's really unhygienic.
Caroline Calloway wrote a book called Scammer.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. She was on the levels of Anna Delvey, but really interesting portrayal of her
Yeah.
Cambridge Instagram lifestyle.
What's the difference between scamming and business? like normal business, you're scamming people.
Well, I think part of the reason we love stories about scammers so much is that they do reveal something which is true, which is so much of life is just kind of presenting yourself confidently. And the whole like fake it till you make it thing, such a cliche, but like there is an element of truth in it. And I feel like we have a begrudging respect for these people because they've pushed it to the extreme.
And they did it on their own.
Yeah.
Without being a company, a
self-made.
business. Yeah, self-made scammer, fraudster, but
The opposite of a Nepo baby.
yeah.
Could be a scammer.
Because Nepo babies are like less interesting, obviously, than
I mean, Robin Hood.
was
Yeah.
a Nepo baby or a scammer?
It's a massive scammer. Nepo babies scamming their parents.
Was
That's
he-
an interesting angle. Nimrod,
Yeah.
I'm
That
helping
is.
him write a new book
Was-
about after the social
I
climbers
have a
handbook.
book out how to sneak into members clubs. I'll give you a copy.
I love that.
Social climbers handbook.
Which one did you find most difficult?
The Athenaeum in London was hard. You have to pretend you were there many days before with members and name drop them and say you forgot something inside or something.
Oh, that's a clever way to
You were
do it.
there
Was
already.
that your usual strategy, or did
I
you
used to-
mix it up depending on the club?
I used to say like, yeah, I was there. I left a scarf in the cloakroom. Used the scarf ticket to go in, like the cloakroom ticket forever.
So
Never take it back.
you had to obtain a cloakroom ticket in order to.
Yeah. So first you have to be there with friends, or otherwise you just have to convince them that you owe them money from last night.
That's the best one.
You need to get in to pay your debts.
Yeah.
Then they want the money.
That's
You have to
so
just
funny.
outpatient them at the
Yeah.
bar when they're saying there's no bill, and you have to keep saying, no, you just got to keep checking.
I owe you. Let me pay. Like the whole day, you insist on paying.
And so
patience,
you
isn't it?
managed to get into the
Patience.
Athenaeum and you spend your entire day trying to pay a bill that
Yeah.
does not exist. And is the Athenaeum particularly worth?
It's not even golden or anything. I should have gone to the Garrick. Maybe that's for the men's only thing.
Oh yeah, I always walk past and I see the pictures on the walls. It's quite cool
Yeah.
the way it's hung.
There's a club called
been
Whites,
there.
just for men as
Ah,
well.
yes.
And it's called White,
No.
just white men.
Yeah. Whites, I think women can go in, but they have to go in through a side door, and
Basement.
they can only go in on certain days.
Yeah.
Not quite sure
How
why
it
you
should
would
be.
want to. In that.
No, come on, know your place.
They have no toilets for women in
Yeah.
Whites.
I do
Really?
actually
You have
do.
to just stand up. It's just your
Just
urinals.
urinals,
They don't
yeah.
even put like
Yeah,
number
you
twos
can't
in for
go
the
there,
men.
yeah.
Just really affirming it.
Yeah. But only in the UK members clubs are a thing. New York has something called Zero Bond. They have some members club, but no one cares.
I think they're trying to import them to New York.
Yeah, they
Hartford
made-
Street
yeah.
is opening in New York. I can't really see it. It's such a particularly British thing.
Yeah,
Feels like a strange
totally.
place
I
to
feel
take
like
it.
it's so American. Aren't
This-
golf clubs basically kind of members clubs with activity?
But Hartford Street particularly, like its whole kind of vibe
Lulu's.
is so...
Yeah. The
But
thing you
maybe
do-
the New Yorkers are like, this is what we imagine Britain is like, and they'll kind of
Yeah.
love it.
It's
So
weird.
5 Hartford Street has a basement with like a DJ, and then you go up and down 5 floors the
Yeah.
whole night. Really
So many
squeezed.
stairs.
Yeah. Do you miss Hartford Street? Do you like the vibe? Or...
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't mind it. I used to go a lot more.
Yeah, they have a
Um,
dress code. Unknowingly, I was once
I,
got in.
lo-
And
I love
rejected.
the open fires, I will
Right.
say.
The smoking
on.
section though is the best part, no? Because it's
Yeah.
outdoors. I don't smoke, and I just sit there.
And it's got
Why
like
is it the
loads of
Yeah.
kind of fake antiquities on the walls.
Yeah.
I do love that.
But that's where
And a
we,
fire.
yeah, the fire. That's where you would meet strangers in the fire section, in the smoking section.
Because the only place Brits can ever talk to each other is in a smoking area.
Yeah.
It's where
the
they
rules.
relax. Yeah, alcohol, fireplace.
Or if the queen dies, there's a long queue. That's when people would talk to you in the queue.
Did you go?
I spoke to people in the queue, the whole queue, one by
What was
one.
it like?
That's the only
what were
time
they
I felt
saying?
people talk to me in the streets.
And were they all like ardent royalists,
So just,
or were people just there out of interest? What was
They
it?
were just waiting, and they spoke about the mechanisms of the line a lot, the queue.
They're enjoying it.
Yeah, visible from space, such a long queue.
You're joking.
Almost, yeah. And they were just like looking for ways to go get ahead.
You're kidding me.
The queue.
They're trying to jump the queue at
trying
the
to jump the
Queen's
queue.
Memorial.
Yeah,
They should
That
be
is not British.
ashamed of themselves.
I know.
Straight
if-
to jail.
Yeah, if
Straight to a
someone
tower.
if someone felt bad during the night in the queue, he got medical attention. But if a homeless person across the road felt bad, ignored.
Oh god.
Same time, same place.
This is like the premise of the opening of a fantastic feature film script where the homeless person gets the help instead.
Yeah, instead of the queue member.
They mistake them for a queue member and suddenly they're resuscitated.
Yeah. And I go to the Chiltern Firehouse smoking section like all the time. It's like a New York alley.
Yeah.
Have you been through the
I have
toilets?
been, yeah.
What's your
You
recollection?
have to go through the toilets to get
to
there.
get in.
I do
Wow,
like the fact you have to
smell
go
of
through the
piss.
toilets, but children in general, I don't know.
You're
Is it
done with
triggering?
Chiltern, you feel?
I just always have a bit of an existential crisis whenever I'm there.
Like how?
I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
the money. You
like
feel,
all the people.
you feel comparative.
No, I it's nothing specific. I'm just like, I feel like people are just
pitching
very,
themselves. Or,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a certain trying to like work out where people stand.
It's really
I don't go a
intense.
lot.
It's really intense, and you should never spend money there because, like, as soon as you buy a bottle,
Yeah. I just want to have a relaxing drink near some open flame.
Yeah.
It's all that I require.
Open Flame House should be a club
Yeah.
name.
Just fires everywhere.
It's actually just a place with loads of fires you can sit around. Just like old
Just
school.
a burning house that I can sit in.
We
and have a
love
drink.
Max Harrison, the Chilton Maitre D.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
up, Max.
I love Maitre D. I'm gonna do a T-shirt Maitre Daddy because Maitre Daddy is like what he is, and he has so many stories.
People would love that.
Yeah, I wanted to interview him for Interview Magazine. He wanted to do it. Interview is his best magazine, but the management refused. Of Chilton. Yeah. Because they were worried he's going to give out guest information. Big deal.
And the whole vibe is like, oh, we're so
secret. But he keeps talking to everyone about everyone else he met the whole day. So it's not really secret. But
nothing on the record.
Yeah.
You could get him to just like sign a disclaimer about what he will talk about.
Yeah.
Or have something at the beginning where he's like, half of what I'm going to tell you is true and half of it is fake.
Yeah.
And then people could try and work out what it was.
Yeah. He said I can talk about this movie he loves from the 90s, Showgirls, about strippers in Las Vegas. So he met the lady, the Elizabeth Hurley, I think. Or he met the lead actress of Showgirls. She came to the firehouse and he showed her his tattoo says Versace, which is how they spell say Versace in the movie Showgirls.
Yeah.
And she loved him for that. And he got to meet all his heroes in the firehouse one time or the other. And that's a story that I'm allowed to tell. Let's go. I'll introduce you to Max.
Yeah.
The firehouse. I love daytime.
I'll try and avoid existential crisis.
Well,
I quite enjoy an existential crisis, and it breaks up a night, I think.
Yeah. It's boring without the crisis.
For sure.
Everyone's having them though. Like literally, you're out, and how many people around you are like going through God knows what.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the incredible thing that we're all kind of unaware of unless we like actively try and remember.
Yeah.
How bonkers everyone might be around us.
It's so true.
Since austerity closed loads of mental homes.
But and London is boring. Like, where else would you go to meet? Like,
it's. I feel like people just don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
In the same way.
No, we're trying to get away from.
And a curse.
Trying to get away from one another.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Like sometimes you don't want them to, but.
You live in a city exactly for that. The anonymity. You know, you're here.
Do you feel like that's harder to get in Mallorca?
Oh, it's impossible. Forget it.
Does everyone know everything?
Just like walk around the street with your toilet paper saying hi to everyone for like, that's like a Nimrod prop joke. Walk around with your toilet paper.
I mean, groceries. I have this big bicycle and I put groceries and I just put them in the basket and then I show people on a night out to certain art galleries what my groceries are.
And how do they generally respond?
I think they're more interested in my groceries than the art.
Of course they are. It's all work related. This is the thing. Everyone's stuck in a perpetual working mindset and it makes the fun of work not so real anymore because you're obsessed with work. I mean, I'm speaking from myself. Like I have to not be obsessed with work and live a bit and talk about groceries.
Yeah. I was saying I buy groceries.
The important stuff in life. Literally the necessities of life.
Yeah, balance.
People want to see what you bought, like on a night out especially.
Do you ever give them some of your groceries? Yeah.
If I have a 6-pack of some soda, I would give them one. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, you don't buy people drugs, you buy them like peanut butter.
Cereals.
You buy like jam for someone.
Meghan Markle's jam.
Really sugary jam.
There's an expensive...
Yeah, this will really get you going.
Yeah. There's an expensive grocery store only in LA called Erewhon. Yeah. You spend hundreds of dollars for like peanut butter and like smoothies, Hailey Bieber smoothie.
Of course.
So I got some stuff to London from there and that's got a luggage of groceries.
Does it genuinely taste different? Or is it just the knowledge you've bought it at Erewhon?
Lettuce from America.
Lettuce is different.
Flown all the way here.
Yeah.
You know, like
sprinkled in the luggage.
Nice and fresh.
Wrapped in loads of plastic.
You just and you sit there and like eat get the smoothies and like I would just meet people there in the grocery store.
We should go for a smoothie. I want a smoothie.
There's no good smoothies. I hate Joy and the Juice in the UK.
What about 100
Shoreditch Hotel?
Yeah, should we go there?
Yeah, all we have is like the Islington Upper Street Supret. You know that? It's like an elite grocery store.
Really?
Next to your house.
I live basically there.
Upper Street. It's called Supret.
Super. Why have I never been? That's crazy.
It's really happening.
Doesn't Essex Road by Criterion have some kind of healthy food shop?
Stuff on Essex Road.
Essex Road.
Also, all the people obsessed with bakeries in the UK, like Jolene, they all shut down at 3 p.m. And you can't really
So
stay.
annoying.
Yeah. People go to members clubs just so they can be on the laptop, have tap water all day without being kicked out at 2:30 p.m. when the coffee shop closes.
Yeah.
That's the appeal of members clubs.
They'll probably go to the gym and the sauna. To be fair, I would be in the sauna a lot if I had a membership
Right
to a
now.
members club, not a gym. Yeah, probably right now.
What could be?
Detoxing.
Yeah.
Be London.
Are you doing gyms or
No.
Yeah, it's so lame. You don't want to do that.
Why
No.
do people do gym?
It's honestly true. I'm
Just
so
go
unsporty.
help someone.
Yeah.
I actually played tennis for Middlesex
Really?
You're a
for
tennis player.
under 6.
Mm.
And then
Wow,
I lost
little you.
one. I lost one match, and I was smashing my mini plastic racket. I was like, never again. And now I can't play tennis.
Like the movie Challengers.
Traumatized.
Oh yeah. At 6,
Zendaya.
that was very much my
6
life.
Yeah.
And then periodically I'll go out and buy loads of tennis kit because tennis kit it looks so great. And I'll be like, this is the year I'm getting back into it. And then I never do.
Huge grips.
Yeah.
Huge, new grips.
No, I just go and buy loads of cute tennis outfits and I just can't play tennis. And I'm embarrassed by the distinction between how professional my outfit looks
And how bad you are.
and the shocking terribleness of my playing.
Maybe try pickleball. It's called pickle because it's shaped like a pickle, but you can use your tennis outfit maybe.
It's just,
Shaped like a pickle.
The table could be your new sport. It's like a table tennis curved and people kick the ball.
I'm not optimistic about my abilities. It feels so American.
Yeah.
And do you, I mean, nothing wrong with it, but do you feel like if something is very American, you're not interested?
No, not per se, but I just think, I don't know, there's
It's
just
fine.
something
You
about
can be
pickleball. It
anti-American.
feels
Okay.
too, something kitsch about it, which I can usually get behind. But in
Yeah.
this case, I feel very, anti it
Yeah.
for no good reason.
Trashy.
I quite like trashy in a lot of cases.
I interviewed the Sporty and Rich founder. It's a clothing brand.
yeah,
She
yeah,
also
yeah.
hates pickleball. Emily Oberg.
Why does she hate it?
She
Give
just
me a justification that I can then steal.
she thinks it's like a wannabe ping pong substitute, and she's a tennis girl. It's all about tennis for Sporty and Rich. She says she refuses to show on fashion shows, fashion walks, catwalks, just health brand, sports brand smoothies. It's very LA, even though they're in New York, the shop, but she lives in LA. And she does collabs with hotels, and she plays tennis in Hotel du Cap in Cannes, Antibes all the time.
Yeah.
So you should come to Cannes Film Festival
God, you need to walk around Cannes with your tennis outfit and
the whole
tennis
time.
racket.
And not see movies, by the way.
Like,
Oh, no, that
Why
would
would
be
you go into-
completely wrong, right?
yeah.
you want to go to the local beach. That's what
If
we
you
did
go-
before.
Shows you don't know what you're doing if you actually watch the films.
If you go to a dark room on the beach, what's the point?
I can't be in the dark when it's sunny outside.
That's why
If
I
it's-
kind of love winter. I love
Yeah,
it when it gets
exactly.
dark at 4
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah, 'cause you
So
can
then I
chill.
feel just,
And that's what winter's for.
Yeah, totally.
To watch stuff. Summertime, I don't think you're meant to watch unless it's outdoor theatre or something.
Right. And in Cannes, you don't want to be in Cannes. So many tourists and the rentals are insane
So
to stay.
you don't want to be in Cannes and you don't want to see any films.
But
Yeah.
you want
And
to
yet
be
you
there.
do want to go to the Cannes Film
Just
Festival.
Yeah.
for some of the parties.
As a concept.
Yeah.
Just to crash some of the parties. And
yeah,
like,
in
What would be
Antibes.
your ultimate party to crash?
To crash. There is Amphar, which is the
Oh, yeah.
AIDS gala, which is the last day of Cannes, not in Cannes, in Antibes, which is a different kind of semi-island
I've been to Antibes. Yeah.
in Hotel du Cap. So they all go there. I would just go there every night, see who's in Hotel du Cap and ignore the festival. And then crash Amphar, which is like they raise money for AIDS.
Yeah.
But if they ever cure AIDS, there won't be a party anymore.
so don't raise that much money.
So they're
Yeah.
curing it slowly,
Slowly.
is what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's like a thing they say. Nobody really knows what they're doing. I mean,
How are they curing AIDS?
yeah.
I love that also the whole kind of, that they're curing AIDS by inviting loads of models
Yeah. And
to it
Katy Perry.
and trying to
and-
sleep with
yeah.
them probably. Like it's,
Right. It's
It's wild, isn't it?
It's a whole
It's-
ego fest and like auction by Simone de Pury. He does the auction every year.
oh yeah.
Selling art to the Getty family members and other members of Naomi Campbell always has a table.
I mean, it's fantastic. They want to help.
Do love Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, but then they gave me a press pass once, but just to be on the carpet and the cocktail. But I was like, I want to see the auction. So why would I come to just be on the carpet?
I don't know. I think it would be
Maybe the carpet is nice, but like
maybe you could kind of sneak in.
Then I could walk
Yeah.
backwards and just take a step in
Yeah.
over the rope.
Because the auction was private, they didn't like televise it.
Yeah, they don't really want to know maybe who auctioned what.
But
They
that's
super
interesting.
performative.
But they say what they sold, but maybe they don't want journalists in the auction room.
Knowing who's
they
buying.
don't.
Yeah,
Not like Phillips.
but it's like a vanity auction. I'm not sure what the big deal is. It's
Yeah,
like they're
surely people
auctioning.
want them to know that
Yeah.
they've spent however much on.
It's not even art. They're auctioning dresses, vacations, and whatever boats.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the classic things
Experience,
you
yes.
pick up at a party.
Yeah.
And they have an
Fantastic
art auctioneer
holiday.
just with a hammer, pretending it's all art, but it's
I do think being an auctioneer would be so fun.
you could maybe ancient Rome had an auctioneer you could write about.
Yeah, they did have some auctioneers. Not
Yep.
sure there's quite enough meat to the story, but yeah.
Yeah,
Just make it up. Just
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Just made up
like
stuff.
what was the first auction ever? I mean,
Ooh, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it would probably, I feel like it's a pretty kind of
maybe it happened when
intuitive.
someone said, "We'll sell you an item," and then another
And
person
so
said, "I'll
it's like,
pay
"I'll pay
more."
more."
Sounds
Yeah.
like it would have happened in a marketplace. You know? It's like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
bartering. Bartering was like the
But
first
sometimes you
auction.
want to pay less in the market, but maybe another person is like really eager to get your lettuce in Erwan,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
pay more.
yeah, yeah.
You just negotiate on the last lettuce in Erwan.
Yeah, huge auction
The
on that
ancient
lettuce.
Roman smoothie auction.
Yeah, because that's how
Very
you,
well documented.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of
And-
inscriptions talking about it.
Yeah. Do you feel like in London you only go out on Wednesdays recently
Really? Where do you go on a Wednesday?
to like a few art openings and then a Groucho after party or something? And then Thursdays I'm too tired. Friday I stay in
Fridays,
East London.
too many people are
Yeah.
out on the weekends. You have to go into the week.
What about Mondays, Tuesdays? What about Sunday?
Sunday people also exhausted. They stay in
It's
East
Sabbath.
London if they live in East London. Yeah.
People are really like exhausted.
Deliveroo, which I find is like bad food, disgusting.
Seed oils, Nimrod. You've got to stop eating seed oils.
Whatever. People, the
What is
Deliveroo.
oils?
What is seed oil? Yeah.
Oh,
Tell us.
so boring. But I'm sorry to be so boring.
Keto. Tell us about keto.
No, but seed oils is more of a problem because most restaurants don't use olive oil or coconut oil, which
Yeah.
apparently they're also using in the fight for AIDS. Coconut oil and other diseases, but you can use coconut oil, you can use olive oil, you can fry in butter with some olive oil. They're all healthier than freaking sesame, or not even sesame, sunflower seed oil.
Okay, so
Or-
no restaurants.
Well, because it's cheap oil, they cook in this stuff and it has like crazy health effects.
Right.
Just check out seed oil.
And tell us about the waiters spraying cleaning material on the table next to you.
Oh, the worst thing, probably the most unhealthy stuff in restaurants other than the seed oil is the cleaning products that sometimes waiters won't spray directly into the cloth and then wipe the table. They'll just spray it in the air near the table. And,
As you
and it's
eat,
like,
yeah.
didn't you learn from the pandemic about air particles? Anyway, so then back to like, oh, they're going to just spray the inside of like the meat container where all the kebabs are displayed. You're just spraying the spray, like not even into the cloth first.
no
It's just
ventilation.
all over the meat. Like, and then I'm going to, because the silly packaging says it's like safe to consume. It's not like you're going to drink that stuff.
So I need to only go to like very expensive but very unhygienic restaurants. Essentially,
No,
is
you
the
can't go to
safest
restaurant.
thing.
You
If
can't
they
go
don't
anywhere.
No
clean-
restaurants
There's
ever
no,
again.
no, forget Pret a Manger, anything. Basically, you know when you buy like nuts from the
Yeah.
corner shop, they've got seed oils on them.
Okay, so I
Unless
need
it's
to
like
grow my own
unroasted.
nuts.
Yeah, it's annoying. Even raisins.
That is annoying.
You know, any dried fruits. Like just start looking on what's in your food, on the ingredients.
I
It's
think I'd
shocking.
just rather not know and
This
just
is
die
it.
early.
It's because I'm 42. You get to a certain point in life.
I prefer restaurants that don't clean and ignore you, actually.
Yeah, at
And
least you
restaurants
know.
keep topping you up and like cleaning all the time.
Yeah, you better to cook at home and just take your food to the restaurant.
I'm a really bad cook. It's a problem.
You're going to have to learn to cook more without being cancelled for saying that.
Privately
Basically,
Back to the
I've
kitchen.
had to learn to cook. I've been helping my mom since
Right.
I was a child.
What's your go-to meal?
Probably eggs and toast.
You can get
sourdough.
cancelled
Can't go
for
wrong with
that.
that.
You
I
get
probably
cancelled.
for abusing chickens. or something, but they are a gift from the chicken.
But you want to get cancelled, you get more famous.
You've got to cancel yourself
Yeah.
nowadays. If you're not cancelling yourself, you're not living.
I feel like no one's scared of cancellation anymore.
They want it
That's
because they know it's the only
interesting.
hope
Yeah.
to like get a show.
Yeah, you've got to own it. Like Trump has just owned all of the crimes he's committed.
Yeah.
It's low key weird how we're in a super like toxic normative
We've swung
vibe.
back, I think. We swung too far. We've like
Regressed.
overcorrected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, we're in Brexit England now. We've all like lost options.
Was Messalina cancelled back in the day?
Messalina was executed, which
Oh,
I think.
that's cancellation. I
Super
Yeah,
guess.
that's really cancelled. And
for
then,
plotting to kill her husband, no?
well, so the story that there's a really bizarre story. She's alleged to have thrown this kind of bacchanalia, kind of Bacchic orgy, and to have bigamously married her lover and intended to put him on the throne in place of her husband.
Wow.
And then she's executed for that. But I think probably that story is made up, and it's essentially a coup enacted against her by her enemies.
Right.
But after her death, she's subject to something called damnatio memoriae, which is like the original cancellation, where all her statues are smashed.
Right.
Her name is literally like chiseled off inscriptions.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So you'll see a normal inscription, and then there's just the bit where her name was is just blanked out, like a kind of Stalinist picture.
They hated her so much, eh?
But she had some
And
fans.
the senatorial men really hated her.
And she had people, culture wars that were for her. Like,
Well, I think so, because her daughter is later divorced by the Emperor Nero and killed. And there's this like total like public kind of outcry of outrage at this behavior. And her daughter's very young. And I think a lot of that is possibly reflective of the fact that the people themselves liked her, because
right.
also she was young and glamorous and had 2 children who were babies when she came to power. And I think
She ever met Nero or
she
different?
offered a certain stability.
Yeah.
No, Nero was a child.
Much later.
and then-
Okay, right.
Well, no, not much later. Nero
Curious.
was the son of her successor as Claudius's
Right.
wife. There's a story that she tries to kill Nero with a snake.
Oh. Like how getting strangled?
Sends a snake, puts it in his bed to try and kill him, and they find the dead snake, and Nero's mother Agrippina kind of takes its skin and puts it into a bangle for Nero to wear.
Really?
But I think that's probably a kind of later.
Because snakes might not kill you even if you find them in your pillow. They might do
I
nothing.
guess it depends what kind of snake
Right.
you've got.
Even if they are poisonous, they might just accidentally not poison you. Because they just might not...
Can't trust snakes these days.
Yeah, to actually do their jobs.
You need a
and
much better assassin.
kill you. Yeah.
Okay, just seed oils.
Yeah.
Do
Just
40
slowly
years,
poison him with seed oils.
Slow death.
Yeah.
Slow, tax extorted death. You've been useful, thanks.
I think the Julia Claudian court maybe moved a little quicker than that in their murders.
Imagine the food they ate.
Mm-hmm.
Loads of olive oil.
Loved fish sauce. They had this incredibly strong fish sauce. Apparently, you could smell the Roman army before you heard them.
Really? Well, they put this sauce on everything, basically.
Because also, like, salt was really expensive. They didn't have many spices.
Hmm.
So fish sauce was like their like key flavoring. It's called garum.
Made out of fish,
Yeah.
basically. Okay. And then they just... containers, they carried it to war.
Yeah. It was.
Right.
They came in these kind of like pottery containers, and we found loads of them everywhere. It was like a massive,
Really?
and they all had like the kind of brand names.
They should sell them now, like rebrand those.
Garum.
Oh God,
Yeah.
more merch stuff.
Yeah.
Like in
We've
the
cracked
world,
it.
the world around the book.
100%.
The
I would
Messalina
become a
cookbook.
garum
The
manufacturer.
Messalina cookbook.
No
edition.
seed oil used.
No seed oil.
Could you do a
Clothing.
supplementary cookbook though for Messalina?
Well, people have actually, there are Roman cookbooks that survive, and people have like reconstructed the recipes.
Yeah.
Is this healthy?
Some of them are
A lot
good,
it
and
is
some of them
healthy.
are apparently very, very, very bad.
Yeah.